The Mandalorian Season 2 exclusive look, Monday Night Football, okay? Monday Night Football. That means it happened Monday night. It was a minute-long clip. It features the Mandalorian, Cara Dune, Grief Karga, a new action scene with an Imperial carrier. Beyond that, we've pretty much seen it all. The Mandalorian Season 2 debuts on Disney Plus October 30th. Fan reaction to this trailer, though, pretty mixed. And Arzu, let's start with you on this episode 93 of BTBD Live. When you watch that first sneak, well, it's not the first sneak peek, but you see that sneak peek on Monday Night Football, what was your reaction to seeing a lot of what we've already seen?
I was just like, okay. My thoughts then and my thoughts now are still that this wasn't meant for the people who are plugged in all the time on Twitter all the time. This is for the people who are watching Monday Night Football. I made the comment Monday night that this was a subscription reminder. Yep. And I got my subscription email the next morning. So, like, just a reminder, we'll be billing you on whatever. So that's absolutely what this trailer was for.
I think that's a really interesting point. And you're probably right on the money. I would tell you this. I thought it was a great trailer. I think it was a better trailer than the first trailer. I think this is what they should have led with when it comes to the marketing of The Mandalorian Season 2. And Peter reminds me of a conversation we had ages ago about the first trailer that they dropped for Rise of Skywalker. Wasn't the best trailer for the Rise of Skywalker. They should have probably led with the last one that was just front and center. Here's the Emperor. Come out, see this movie. It's an interesting strategy. Do you think there's some merit to, we've already hooked the diehards, let's get the lay fan now?
100%. I think, that's one of the things we forget, and I have to remind myself constantly, because as those of you in the chat know, and those of you who are listening on the rewind and we spend our entire lives way too connected to Star Wars, whether it's as much or as little as, look, if you're watching the show right now, you are not the target audience for what they showed on Monday night. That was for, as Jerry Cable calls them, the normies, the people who are just kind of, who didn't see the trailer when it hit on Twitter because they didn't care. But this is for those people that are like, oh, that's right, I remember there's that little Baby Yoda thing. I can't wait to see that again. And so from that perspective, it worked. For those of us who wanted more, it didn't. And I think we all, look, I love Kessel Run Transmissions. I have nothing but great things to say about my friends Noah and Corey, but unfortunately, either they're not getting fed the right information, or things are changing so rapidly at Lucasfilm is very difficult to keep up with, and what we expect to see in these trailers is not what we're actually getting. And after I slept on it, I mean, my first tweet was that was disappointing, but the very next morning, the more I thought about it, I'm fine with it, because you know what, we're gonna get the show in 9 days. So I don't really, and I said it before, I didn't need a trailer. I'm going to watch it. So I wanted to see more, but I'm okay. We're not going to always get what we expect in this.
I should say, I know I said like, okay, that was whatever, because I had sort of been hyped up
right
to think that it was going to be big. I don't mind that we didn't see a whole lot.
Yeah.
I think that's fine because like Pete said, we're getting the show in 9 days, and I'd rather be surprised anyway, but just sort of going in on the assumption that we're going to see something, I'm like, oh, okay, might as well. But I didn't mind that there was nothing there.
Yeah, I thought that on the rewatch, surprisingly, for a minute, and maybe I'm just trying to find the gold at the end of the rainbow here. But going back on the rewatch, and I didn't catch it the first time, but the stand down Razor Crest, like I didn't get that at the very beginning of that clip. So I think that's kind of interesting to me that this ship either has a reputation, or maybe it's simple as another ship can scan and know that it's the Razor Crest. But my assumption is there's an Imperial cruiser that's following the Razor Crest on the snowy planet, and there's like that identification. I thought that was really cool. There's some clips going around on the internet, and I want to pull these up. I'm going to credit Andy for finding this, but apparently there are creatures in the trailer that I don't know how many people are aware of. And they're spiders. And I was wondering, have either one of you two seen the clips that are going around about these spiders? Arzu, you're shaking your head. No, Pete, did you have any awareness of this?
I didn't see it until I saw what Andy had shared with the group, and yeah, I mean, apparently, if you look really closely, and what is, I'll look it up before we're done to make sure we give credit to the reviewer. But yeah, I mean, and not only that, there's like giant spider legs draped over the Razor Crest. If you look really closely, he's not just repairing the ship. He's also apparently trying to cut through these enormous legs. And it was, they are, New Rock Stars is the YouTube channel where he breaks this down. It's about 7.5 minutes where he notices things like that. He notices that there's a carbonite slab in the Razor Crest when he walks out of it and to meet Grief and Cara Dune, and just little things like that it's funny, we just kind of blew right past this stuff.
Yeah, I think it's really fascinating. And, maybe I'm guilty of it. I was looking for something else when we were watching this clip together on Monday night. We did about a 90-minute special here on the network. We kind of hijacked Hollow Chronicles to do that, had a lot of fun. I was looking for more Moff Gideon. I was looking for Ahsoka Tano. I was looking for Bo-Katan. And I think that it was easy for me to be distracted with those once and not just appreciating what was in front of me. So I know that I myself really knocked this clip hard on Monday night. But you know what? 48 hours later, I'm thinking to myself, you know what? This is a damn good trailer. And Pete Arzu, I've had a dozen people since yesterday come up to me and be like, hey, did you see that new Mando trailer? I didn't know that season 2 was coming out. Yes. Which just blows my mind. Do you guys have any of those interactions with people? I know we're kind of you guys are working from home. I'm going in.
I don't see people.
Well, it's funny because I have this reputation, of course, of being the Star Wars guy among the people that I know, and a lot of them, it's just so funny. We take for granted the echo chamber that we live in, and sometimes it's used as a negative term and sometimes a positive term. But we're surrounded by really great people in the social media space, the people who are following us today and watching us today, and just people we interact with. So we forget that yes, I go out and I talk to some friends, and they're like, hey, did you know that the Mandalorian show, it's coming back in a couple weeks, and it's really hard for me to not be like, well, duh. But the reality is and so to Arzu's point, that is 100% what this particular episode or particular commercial was for. It was for those people, for us. And look, I even said it on Around the Galaxy when I did my intro for this week's show. It was like, I don't need a commercial. I'm ready. Like, just tell me when it's going to drop and I'll be there. So I think that's a different audience.
I think that's really interesting. Arzu, did you have something that you wanted to add?
Nothing.
Okay. So then let's go ahead and just dive into this real quick, because I think it's kind of the same conversation, but we have started to see several TV spots going out for The Mandalorian Season 2. Of course, it comes out October 30th. We're really excited about Season 2. Do you think it's a long, are you finding yourself excited with just the little glimpses? Like, do you find these 30-second spots to be more effective than the minute and a half clips? I think for myself, that is what's happening, because I am just ready to see the full thing. I don't think a trailer is going to give me any satisfaction, because at this point we've identified they're not going to give me what I want in that trailer. Arzu, you work in the TV world. What are we really trying to do with these 30-second TV spots?
I think, well, this is not the part of TV I work in, but what I think the 30-second spots are just sort of easy ways to, as you're scrolling, even, because realistically, how many people are seeing this on TV? Just as you're scrolling, it's just 30 seconds. Remember, the Mandalorian's coming out. Look, there's a cool thing. I think that's what it's for. So it's like a very long GIF. Basically, which is what I think it's supposed to be doing. It's just it's not something you necessarily need to listen to, because even like when The Rise of Skywalker came out, those little TV spots, they were the big flashy images, right? It wasn't the quieter stuff. So that's all it's doing. It's like catching your attention, reminding you it's coming out, buy your ticket / resubscribe to Disney Plus, like whatever that is.
Yep.
I think that's really interesting. Pete, I'm going to be honest, like, do you still have cable TV? Because I don't. I'm not seeing Mandalorian TV spots all over cable television. I'm not even seeing them on my streaming platform. So people are talking about it. I'm just not seeing a lot of them.
Yeah, I'm not seeing a lot of it either, and the only place I see him is when people shoot him with their phone and put it on Twitter. That's the only place I see him. So, yeah, again, I think it's that. This I think one of the things too that we need to remember, and I think I said it previously. Success in streaming is very different than success metrics in major motion pictures, right? And when you release Rise of Skywalker or Force Awakens or any movie, this is why they're struggling with when are they going to release Wonder Woman 84. You have to kick ass in that first week, and if you don't, it's a failure. However, with streaming, I've watched each episode of Mandalorian 5, 6, 7, 10 times, and so it does not have to have a successful launch date. It would be nice, but they've already gotten my $7 for the month or whatever it is, and it doesn't matter what I watch. If I watch nothing but still pay, it's a win for them. So it's a different way to market these events. And so I think we as fans are still in that major motion picture mindset when we think about Star Wars and what we expect to see from Star Wars.
I think that's really interesting that you say that. And before we go on to further, I do want to shout out, we did get these new posters. I think the posters are cooler than a lot of the video that we've seen so far for season 2. Am I wrong to say that?
I love the way Baby Yoda just kind of looks like, all right.
Yeah,
I
like that one.
I think I'm probably the biggest fan of Grief Karga's new robes, but that's not the first time I've said that here on the show. Everyone knows that I have a man crush on Grief Karga. He is over extraneous man. He is over the top. He is flamboyant, and I love him so much.
Shame.
Right. No shame ever.
No shame. He's got none. You've got none. No shame.
The dude is 70-something years old. If he doesn't look it at all,
it's not sexual. Yeah. I mean, yeah, he's in great shape. I'm sorry. I thought you were claiming something else there. I felt like I had to defend myself.
Thank you for watching Beyond the Blast Doors. Be sure to subscribe to our channel. Don't forget, give us a thumbs up and leave a comment. Beyond the Blast Doors, a Star Wars conversation.